Rufflecopters. Right. Hi folks, Gavin here from Play TV, and today I'm going to be taking a look at a very slim but very, footprint saving gaming laptop from the guys over at MSI. This is the GS73VR 7RF gaming notebook. It has a penchant on obviously keeping things slim and svelte, as well as stylish as well, and it retails for around £1,850 to £1,900 in the UK, and it's roughly around $2,000 in the US. Now, obviously, that's quite an expensive outlay for a gaming notebook, but it does feature a 17.3-inch 4K screen, which is, phenomenal, not just for, watching films, Blu-ray, but it's also good for video editing, creative things like Photoshop as well. So, inside we've got a Kaby Lake i7 7700HQ processor, as well as 16 gig of DDR4 memory. Also powering it is an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 graphics card as well. So it's got quite a lot about it. It's got plenty of specs. It comes pre-installed Windows 10 onto the M.2 SSD, which is it's actually a 256 gig PCIe SSD, as well as a 2 terabyte storage hard drive as well for things like games, programs and files, and programs like Photoshop I'd probably put on my SSD anyway, but whatever floats your boat, folks. It's got tons of features, things like Trinity cooling boost, so when it needs to, it can ramp up the fans, it'll cool it down, and then it'll stop. So although this particular notebook can get a little bit noisy, obviously when you've got so much hardware and you squeeze it in such a small space, you are going to have slight caveats and slight issues, but it's still well within thermal. I haven't had any thermal throttling with this, which is a very, very good sign. It does get loud under load, but obviously that is to be expected with a gaming laptop. It's got a fully backlit keyboard, and it's fully color customizationable, or should I say it's got full color customization. And it uses SteelSeries engine-free software, which obviously if you've been familiar with MSI notebooks, their gaming range, what you will find generally is most of their good models, like the GS, the GT, they do feature SteelSeries keyboards, and they're actually pretty nice to type on. Still not the mechanical switch that you would expect, but obviously there is a mechanical, switch type jobby MSI gaming notebook, and they were actually the first to implement mechanical switches. It's got integrated audio, which I'm gonna say this, it's good for a laptop, but if you were to crank up the volume to 100, you will get distortion, but you will get that on any laptop or notebook. So if you're playing it at, say, half volume, it sounds clear, crisp. It's not very bassy, but it's a laptop, so you've obviously got certain sacrifices. It's not, it's not a hi-fi, it's a gaming laptop that's very portable and very svelte in terms of looks and design. It sports killer AC Wi-Fi if you buy into all that killer marketing stuff, and as well as that, it does have support for Bluetooth version 1.4. Did I just say 1.4? I mean 4.1. Ignore me. In terms of connections, it has 3 USB 3 ports, 1 USB 2 port, 1 USB 3.1 Thunderbolt 3 port. It also has an RJ45 Ethernet port, as well as an SD card reader on the front, a HDMI port and a mini display port. So it is VR ready. It does have a HDMI port. You can connect your things like your Oculus Rift and your HTC Vive straight into it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's got a very slim frame, and the frame itself is 19.6mm in terms of thickness, which is pretty thin. MSI are actually leading, in my opinion, as well as likes of Razer, they're leading the market in gaming notebooks that combine good specs, gaming graphics cards, things like 4K screens, into such small overall sizes in terms of frame as well, which is pretty decent in my opinion. It's, you know, it's a very, very stylish looking laptop. And for those who like to do things like video editing, photography, even obviously gaming naturally, and you like to be portable on the move all the time, this is the kind of laptop that you should be looking for, especially if you don't want to carry around a big bulky gaming notebook. Touching more on terms of the size and the weight, it weighs, with the battery included, just over 2.4 kilos, so it's about 2.5 bags of sugar, so it's not, you know, too bad. It's, you know, easily held in one hand, and I promise I'm not going to drop this, I'm sorry. It's, you know, lightweight. It's got like an aluminium construction design as well, so it's pretty light. It's not built from, you know, cheap crappy ass components that you'll find some laptops are. MSI gaming notebooks, especially likes of the GS73VR, which obviously I'm twiddling around with now. It has the moniker Stealth Pro, or this particular one itself has a Stealth Pro 4K because of the 4K screen, of course. Obviously you got like software bundled with it as well, like some MSI TrueColor 2, things like Tri-Def VR, so VR is pretty much covered in terms of readiness for this particular notebook. And obviously you've got dynamic audio as well, so as I was mentioning with the sound quality, you can actually customize and set, like, have different presets and change the equalizers if you so want to do. As I've said, it's not a hi-fi, it's a gaming notebook. So we've seen the notebook, we know it's stylish, we know it looks good, we know it's pretty lightweight, we know it's slim, we know it's got a nice cool backlit dragon on the back. But how does it perform? Well, I'm going to run through some benchmarks now, and yeah, we'll see how it performs, and we'll come back and discuss what I like and what I don't like. So the benchmarks have been run, our test suite's obviously finished, everything's done. I've gone away, obviously I've been using this for a couple of weeks now, but now it's time for my final thoughts really. Do I think this is a worthwhile purchase? Do I think the GS73VR 7RF Stealth Pro 4K is worth your hard-earned money? And let's be honest, it's quite expensive. It's 1,000. If we look around £1,900 in the UK and $2,000 in the US, it is an expensive outlay for a gaming notebook. And there are some reasons why it's expensive, but there's also some reasons why it's not as expensive as it could have been. So in terms of what I like, it's very subtle, it's sleek, it's stylish, and overall it looks absolutely fantastic, and it feels really, really good quality. There's plenty of ports available. Plenty of connections, lots of USB-free real estate, which is good if you're going to connect external keyboards, mice, you know, webcams. Although as it has got a built-in webcam, it's obviously not as flexible because you have to obviously lift the lid up and down to position it. If you ever seen In-Betweeners and the bit with whatever's briefcase, mother, yeah, whatever. It's the perfect combination of graphics and CPU and memory, you know, as far as gaming notebooks goes in this type of range. Good processing power and good graphical power for games. But the biggest thing that I like about it is the screen. It's got a 17.3 inch and it's, you know, 4K screen. It's very, 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 it looks good. The color, and obviously you can change different presets through the MSI Dragon Center software as well, with all the different applications that you can use for this particular notebook. The screen is absolutely fantastic, and it's the big highlight for me, obviously, other than how thin it is. What I don't like about it is, you know, it's not great for gaming at 4K. A GTX 1060 and a mobile processor is not going to get you 60 frames per second in games. or 4K, but you can always put the resolution down to 1080p and it will blitz through everything. Now you might think, well, why don't I just get a screen with 1080p? Well, 4K is better for films, it's better for, you know, video creation, it's better for things like Photoshop, it's better for content creating really, and it's on the move. You can get more onto a 4K screen than you can a 1080p screen, so bear that in mind. If you're not bothered about the slim design though, MSI do a range of GT notebooks, so like the GT72 as well, all the way up to their Titan range, which has the mechanical keyboard in that I was mentioning earlier. Now the GT does offer better specs for the price, but they do tend to be a little clunky and bulky, whereas the GS73VR 7RE Dominator Pro, or should I say, ignore the Dominator bit, that's the GT range, Stealth Pro, it's just so, you could take this on a train, get it out. The footprint of it, obviously it's still quite big in terms of size because of the 17.3 inch screen, but other than that, it's thin, it's lightweight, and it's as portable as you can expect to be really. But yeah, what will I award this particular notebook? Well, I'm going to give it our gold award, and the reason it's getting gold is because it looks good, it performs where I would expect it to perform. I have a slight issue with the pricing. I think it could be a little bit cheaper, but given that it's got a 4K screen, it's probably exactly bang on in terms of value. You can get it with a 1080p screen, but as I said, I prefer the 4K screen, and you can always put the resolution down to 1080p for games and it'll work absolutely fine, and it will look just as good, if not better. So I'd like to thank MSI Notebooks for sending the GS73VR Stealth Pro 4K gaming notebook, that's a mouthful, in for review. Thanks for watching guys, check out our other videos, please leave a like, leave a comment. Thanks for watching, oh, and subscribe obviously. Yeah, thanks for watching folks, and ciao for now. I'll just stop on my way to turn off the lights and the camera.